want to be snuggly while I talk about this show. I don't even, the show who must not be named. That's what I want to call this show, because the amount of anxiety and stress that I feel from watching Love is Blind is ridiculous. But I want to talk about it because it really highlights how horrible dating is. Okay, I like to pull y'all in close, get close, okay? Dating sucks. And this show is a prime example of the massacre that is dating at this time, okay? I'm not sure what it is, but I have a few ideas that I'm gonna throw out there to you guys about the connections that I feel from this show to our everyday lives. If you're single and you're someone who's out there dating, you know. And I have to say, if you're single and you're someone out there who's dating, because there's so many committed people who are dating and married and not in relationships that allow that, which that's interesting too. But enough griping. Welcome and welcome back to Mom Jeans by NUTCASE. Thank you so much. I am the NUTCASE Casey Nicole, here again to stir up some shenanigans, I guess. Okay. And today we are going to be talking about modern day dating, guys. All right. We're going to be talking about it. And we're going to be talking about it because this apparent phenomenon of Love is Blind has got everybody talking about dating. And I think it's something we need to talk about because with not only this show but all the TikTok testimonials about who we married and who we dated and who we had children with, I feel like we need to talk about dating more. And I think that this show really has some gems, honestly. Like, it might seem corny how they lay out the show. It might seem like it's not that important and it's just another dating show, but I think there's some real gems in this show to kind of figure out why we all suck so bad at dating. Like, the state of affairs in dating is trash and we're all horrible at it. And I just think that we need to get to it on a deeper level, on a subconscious level, because a lot of people are talking about like what's going on in the show, and I commend those creators, but I'm going to be focusing in this video on more of like the spiritual side of it. And don't click off, okay? Just wait, give me a second, because when you say spiritual it sounds corny. But it's more so the subconscious things that are going on and what I see from each situation that they highlighted in the show and how it connects to a lot of the things that we deal with regularly as individuals, as regular people out here trying to navigate the world. So please stick around, you guys. Let me know what you think about the show in the comments. Let me know your opinions about what I say. Be sure to like the video, you guys. Be sure to subscribe if you are new. I would love to have you here. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, honey. All right, child. There is so much. I'm hot because there is so much about this show that I was hollering, like literally hollering. Y'all, okay. I know I'll be late to the party a lot of times and I just be on my own little wave, but why I'm over here watching Love is Blind and why I'm on the part where Jimmy and Chelsea just saw face to face what each other looked like, girl. And why I'm over here hollering, child. I can't stop hollering. I can't stop hollering. Like, I cannot stop. Now let's get serious. because this is why you have to be very self-aware. This is why you got to know yourself. Drake said it first. You got to know yourself. Okay, he might not have said it first. Y'all, folks got audacity out here. We're keeping it real goes wrong. At that moment, he knew. He done fucked up. Jessica. When it comes to things going down on this show, okay? I wrote notes, child. I'm gonna just try to freestyle this a little bit because I've been getting into the weeds. I've tried to film this video now 3 different times and I've just been getting sidetracked into the weeds because there is so much about like the situations on this show that I just feel are triggering topics that we need to unpack. But I'm gonna try to focus for you guys so we can get through it. All right, this is just my opinion. I do not want you to change your opinion to match mine. I want you to have your own opinion and I want to be able to have mine too. So just try to be respectful as much as possible in the comments and let me know what you guys think. Okay. First of all, initially, I could barely take the show seriously because it's a show, right? And when it comes down to television or productions, programs, I really struggle sometimes to get into it if it's dealing with like real people. If it's just a regular show that we know are actors and actresses playing roles, it's kind of easier for me to like fall into the illusion. But when it's like real people and it's a reality show premise, it's more difficult for me to see it seriously. And when they was playing the beloved angelic Whitney in the beginning talking about bring me a higher love, child, bring me a higher love. Oh. I just could barely take it seriously, y'all. Like I could barely take the show seriously, but I was like, you know what? Let me try to get through it. And I really don't watch Love is Blind. So when I tell you, I wanted to try to keep myself pure. I did not watch anybody else's commentary until after I watched the show and grasped my own knowledge. Now I did find out about the things that everybody's been talking about regarding, I think, Jeremy and Trevor and their debauchery.
What is going on? Here's a little update if you haven't already seen. Let's start with Jeremy. Someone posted this picture in a Love is Blind Facebook group and it says someone was engaged and living with someone when applying for this. One of the comments said, "Where did you find this?" And the person wrote, "On my phone. This is my daughter." So apparently they were still engaged and living together when he applied for the show. And then there's Trevor, who had us all rooting for him. Basically, the reality Ashley posted this picture of him and this girl who was apparently his girlfriend while filming. She also posted screenshots of a text conversation between the two of them if you want to go check it out. But one of the texts was basically saying that him and another guy there established why they were there and that they weren't going to get married no matter what.
I knew about that beforehand, but I didn't really know necessarily anything else. I'm telling y'all, I really went in with this genuine desire to judge the show or evaluate the show from a place of purity, okay? But the higher love music and everybody just being all excited, the Aquarius in me saw it as corny. But I digress because it was still cute. I can see where it was cute. And that's kind of how dating is now, like with regular people. It's like when you go into a situation, wherever you go to meet people, whatever it may be, it's kind of similar, in my opinion, to the feelings of the people on the show. And I think that's beautiful. I really think that's beautiful. Like when you get dressed up and maybe you're going to a party with friends, or you may be going to an activity or some place where you're going to be doing some type of activities, or you may even have been invited to a wedding or wherever it is that you go to meet people, right? You get ready, you're excited, you make yourself look presentable, and you want to put your best foot forward. And I think that's true for anyone, regardless of how you see yourself or how you classify yourself within society. We all want to show up our best, at least most people, in my opinion. We want to look our best. We want everything to be flawless about us so that the way that we present can be appreciated by someone who may potentially become a partner, right? And I think that's the mindset of all of the contestants. For the most part, now we know, okay? But for the most part, I think for the people coming in there for the right reasons, that was their thought process, okay? Now, overall, I feel like as people, we don't know what it is that we really want. I don't think people can even really define what love is. And the show is called Love is Blind. So what is love? And I think for me personally, love is a feeling of security and stability and understanding and purity to the point where I can be my true and authentic self around this person. I can be genuine when it comes to what I feel on the inside. I can be genuine when it comes to my beliefs. I can be genuine when it comes to my thoughts and opinions. It's like, for me, love is finding a person who is able to show up in the world truly and authentically as themselves, and then also loving me enough or caring for me enough, having enough compassion for me, protecting me enough to allow me to show up in the same way. That's to me what love is. It's definitely got other things going on, but love is really, for me, a time that I can spend with another human being where I don't have to try to be something that the world wants me to be. It's where I can truly be myself without any expectations. And it's a place where that person, that human that chooses to have this experience with me can do the same thing. And just, we can exist in that together without any drama, you know? And because we care for each other, we empathize with each other, we understand each other, we want to protect each other. If there are things that don't necessarily align, we're able to have enough respect that we can understand. And that's really what I feel like love is for me. That's what I want. And it may not be popular to say that, but I think this show is basically people looking for whatever that is that they want in a loving connection. They're looking for whatever they believe entails a loving connection. And, you know, I'm not upset with them for that. I definitely feel like if I were to go on this show, I don't know how I would react. I don't know how I would respond. So I don't want to really be too critical of the situation. But, you know, looking at how we all feel when we want to go into a room and meet people, and understanding that that is a universal feeling for most of us, and then understanding that we all have different ideas of what love is while searching for that love, it guides you when it comes to giving grace to the people on this show. Because I do feel like everyone in the world is critical of everybody, and it's crazy because most of the time the people who are being so critical, if they were put in that position and they were getting critiqued like these people get critiqued, they may not handle it any better than what the people on the show handled it. So I definitely feel like production plays a role. I want you guys to understand that production of the show and the way that they produce and edit the show plays a role. But I said with Whitney Houston, one of my first thoughts was the hype is real. I can barely take it seriously due to TV and selective editing. I feel like they edited a few things really strategically for it to come off a certain way, for us to have a certain emotion. But I just feel like that's true for any type of programming or TV show. As the characters were initially going into the pods and people were meeting each other and talking, I felt that there was definitely that representative, right? I noticed the fact that even though they couldn't see other people, like even though the contestants could not see the other contestants or whoever they were talking to on the other side of the wall, they still presented with this representative, which shows me that it's fear. Like, we all fear meeting new people. We all fear how we'll be judged. And on some level, there's anxiety around first impressions, because you want the first impression to be good so that you can either get the job, or you can get the relationship, or you can make the friends, have the connections. You want that first impression to be good. And people say, oh, let's be more real, let's be more authentic. But you can't just come out the gate and just be who you are without having any fear of repercussions. It's kind of true that the representative is going to be there. It's just a matter of us as individuals, when we encounter the initial presentation of a person, of whether or not our intuition and our discernment is strong enough to be able to see if the intent is malicious or if the intent is pure. And I think that some of the contestants on the show struggled with knowing whether or not the intention was malicious or whether or not it was pure, okay? And I know, okay, you guys, I know I'm bouncing around a little bit, but I kind of want to talk about why we're all so bad at dating. I think the reason why we're all so bad at dating is because we don't really know ourselves. I think that's part of it. I think self-awareness or a lack of self-awareness is why we as a human race, we as people are really bad at dating. It's because we don't truly know who it is that we are, or we know who we are and we're not able to really see anything else besides who we are to be able to understand another person. Because there's some people who just really don't know who they are. They don't know what they want. They really don't know what love is, because they're kind of like a watered down version of who they really could be, because they don't know themselves. They haven't done a lot of introspective work to look at themselves in the mirror and see who it is that they really are, to therefore classify what it is that they truly want within a dating experience. Some people are just blind. When they say love is blind, some people are just blind, okay? They don't really look at themselves in the mirror or take enough time to evaluate the things that they've been through to know how they show up in a relationship. Sometimes it takes practice to know this. You aren't going to necessarily understand 100% of yourself by yourself. Sometimes it takes being in a relationship to know how you're going to be in a relationship. But I think the problem with dating is like everybody's trying to be something that they're not. Everybody's trying to come across as something that they're not, or they feel like they have to act the way that society dictates they act because of how other people act. So when you're in a situation, let me explain. Sometimes it's like, okay, you'll meet a person, you'll get good vibes off the person, but then it doesn't go anywhere. And it's either because maybe you didn't have as much attraction or commonality, or the vibe between each other wasn't strong enough. But then sometimes it's because people are manipulative. And when you first meet the person, it's all great. But then later on, it's like you find out what their true intentions are. And I just, I know that people do things maliciously in dating to get what it is that they want. I wish people didn't do that. But at the same time, I think a lot of good relationships, or a lot of relationships that have good potential, are squandered because people don't know who they really are. They don't know what they really want. They're either listening to their friends or their family, or they're listening to social media, and not themselves. The main person that they need to be listening to is themselves, and they listen to everyone else. And I think some of us don't know ourselves enough to know the things that we do that hinder us in relationships. While we may be dealing with people who are confused about what they truly want, we're the person who may know what we want, but it's like we don't see that the person on the other side, on the receiving end of our affection, doesn't want the same thing. And we try to convince ourselves that they do. We try to convince ourselves that this person sees us, or that they're being honest or genuine or real. And that's when the deception comes in. That's when the self-deception comes in. And it's like, well, maybe just because of how this person looks, or because of the idea of the relationship, we get into it and we stay in it when maybe we shouldn't. But I think that's part of the reason why we're so bad at it, is because there's an inauthenticity. There's just a pure inauthenticity in people right now. And I'm not sure if that's something that has come with like modernization and social media. I feel like it does play a role for sure. But there definitely, I feel, has been times in the past where people have not been completely honest about who they are, and they present in a way that's dishonest. But it's not as much as it is now, because I feel like we are all becoming so superficial, and we'd all, in my opinion, be a lot happier if we were just more authentic when it comes to how we present, when it comes to our beliefs, and when it comes to our hearts and like what we truly want. Because I want to be with somebody. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't want a relationship, or a healthy relationship with a person where we can have fun. Like, that's what it is for me. I just want somebody who I can have fun with and share life with. But at the same time, I don't want a relationship so bad that I'm going to fake it, because that's not going to be fun. Like, that's going to be lame to me. I don't know. I just think this show culminates that. It's like it culminates our desire as people to be admired, to be loved, and to be cared for, with our inability to be authentic. And it's putting it on blast. It's literally putting it on blast on Front Street. And I think we all would benefit from paying attention to that. That's why I feel like dating sucks right now. It's just people are fake. People aren't being their true selves, because you can meet a person and it's like, because they want the best parts of themselves to show, you really vibe with that person. But then later on, whether it's negative influences from the outside world or from people like friends or family, something gets in the way. And I think that's kind of what happened on this show. I definitely felt like people weren't necessarily being honest and genuine. And within the pods, there's definitely like this fancy illusion that happens if you are not being real with yourself. I think the way that you can be more successful in the pods is just to truly be as authentic as possible. And I think a lot of people that have come into this situation of Love is Blind have not truly been authentic, or they haven't really known what it is that they truly want. Overall, y'all, I just feel like the show, there's definitely a place for it because it shows us the mistakes that we can make when it comes to meeting people and dating. And I think dating is just so bad right now because it's like the people who really want to be in a solid, committed relationship and who really want to have genuine love are struggling to find each other. And I think that's why shows like this come about. It's like I might be a person who wants genuine love. Like I might be a person who wants to have a partner and have those roles. Cause I mean, I've made videos recently about marrying the enemy and like regretting having kids, you know, different things that I just have noticed about life and how I've been through things in life. But it hasn't turned me into someone who doesn't want to still experience life. Like the fact that I want to be with a partner who I kind of like described the dynamic of earlier, it's never going to go away. And whether I find that partner or not, I've come to terms with that, like with myself. But I think that's kind of what we all want. It's like we all want someone who we can depend on. And it may not necessarily be all of us, because I know people have their own opinions and there's so many different dynamics. But whether it's for a season, a reason, or a lifetime, there is a desire for us to want to be together as humans. It's a companionship, right? And I'm not the type of person where I always want to be around somebody, because I also want a relationship where we are individual and we have our own lives, but we have respect enough and trust for each other to where we don't let any situations come in between the bond that we have, or we don't allow situations to tear our bond down or be irresponsible with each other's trust. But I'm definitely not a person who likes clinginess, and I was that way, but I've grown from that because it's not healthy. And I think that me talking about myself is kind of like what you have to do to experiment and find the things within yourself that determine how a relationship is going to look. You have to look within and really look in the mirror to understand the parts of yourself that are going to show up when you end up being with another person. When it comes to the show, I just feel that there was a lot of like lying. There was a lot of lying going on. It just showed how much we as humans lie. We lie about what we want. We lie about how we feel. We lie to ourselves and other people about us, about what we need, about everything. And I'm just like, oh my God, people love to be lied to. And I'm just like, damn, it's so hard for the people who really want a genuine connection to come together and find each other, because we have to literally sift through all of the trash in the pool. The pool has shit in it. The pool has fecal matter in it. The dating pool is full of piss and shit and blood and trash. It's literally full of trash, and we all have to sift through it and try to get to some semblance of, I guess, normalcy or to the person who has similar views as us. And it's really hard and it's really draining. So I can understand wanting to go on a show like this, because if that's what you really want, you know, you would hope that it would be easier to find. I think also when it comes to the show, man, I just wish that there was a way that they could like sift through the trash. I know it creates drama because you can't have 100% all good love stories. You can't have 100% like almost perfect love stories. You got to have some type of drama to get people to watch. But it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, Trevor's situation, when it comes to him having had like a girlfriend or something before the show, I think it was that he had a girlfriend or a fiance or somebody before the show and said that that he wasn't going on it for love. He was just going on it to get notoriety or whatever like that. I wish there was a way for you to like figure that out. But I guess just like how people lie to regular people, they can lie to the producers on the show. So I don't know, child. It's just so much drama. And I just think overall, like when it comes to the way that things were broken down in the pods, like what we saw, I definitely noticed that a lot of the contestants and just people in general, we speak in fantasy, we speak in dream, we speak in like non-practical things because we want to feel the fairy tale a lot of times. And I know people aren't going to admit to this and everybody's not going to agree, but whatever that desire is that you have when you meet people, it's like you're playing telephone. And when you meet a person, the game starts. And if you don't know what telephone is, it's when somebody says something like Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, and then they tell it to the next person, and then the next person says whatever the first person said to the person next to them, and it just keeps traveling from person to person. And whoever's the last one in line, they have to say whatever the first person said, and usually it's not the same thing. Like, it's a fun game. You play it at parties, and I think that it's a good analogy or a metaphor for what this show is, even for what dating is. It's like whatever somebody is presenting to you, whatever somebody is telling you, however a situation looks to you is then broken down within your brain through these different receptors. It's basically the game of telephone, whether it's like going through a filter of childhood trauma or going through a filter of past relationship trauma, or it's going through a filter of like upbringing from your mom and dad. Like all of those different filters are being penetrated when you absorb the energy that you're receiving from a person presenting themselves to you as possible dating material. By the time it gets to the place in your brain where you gain understanding, it's gone through all of these different filters, which may be skewing the final product of what it is that you take in or what it is that you see from that person. And I think that's what the struggle is when it comes to modern dating. That's what the struggle is with the people on this show. It's like you want to hear what you want to hear, and you're going to hear it based on everything that you've been through. Everything that you've experienced is going to determine how you receive love or how you receive the information that someone is giving you. And man, there was so much ego on this show. There was so much delusion on this show. There was just so much trash. It was trash. But I can't be mad at any of the contestants. Like, I can't be mad at any of them for the way that they chose to act or react, because I can't say that I would act or react any differently. I can't say that I would be any better or worse. It's just knowing that there is something deeper that calls you together with another person. The partners that you choose and the reason why you choose those partners ultimately can help you make the best decision when it comes to choosing a person who you want to spend an extended amount of time with. So I don't know. I'm going to go through each character and break down the couples and who they were attached to, you guys. So that's it for that. I just feel like Love is Blind. I really feel like Love is Blind season 6 was a great educational tool for all of us to understand how it looks from the outside looking in, and to pay attention to the ways that each of these contestants handled these situations and kind of see ourselves in those contestants so that we can understand how we show up when it comes to our experience in dating. Because that's what I did. I definitely can see myself in every single one of these contestants. I can see myself in Chelsea at one point or another. I can see myself in AD. I can see myself in Brittany. Okay. I can definitely see myself in Laura. Amy, oh my God, Amy. I can for sure see myself in Amy. And it's like being able to resonate and empathize with each of these character situations and see where you may have been a version of that person in your own life. I think it'll really help a lot of us date smarter or date more productively. Cause I'm so tired. Like, honestly, my heart is tired, you guys. I'm tired of like meeting people and being like, okay, let's be positive. Let's just see what it's about. And then coming into like trash. And I'm just like, Jesus, it's gotta be more than just one or two things causing this. This is like a deeper issue that I feel like we're all facing as a group, as a society, because we're just not being authentic. And I think also more than that, we're not doing the work to heal ourselves from those deceptive filters that I was talking about earlier. We're not doing enough to heal ourselves and fix what's broken inside of us so that we can show up authentically and we can choose better. But I guess that's it. You guys get into the comments. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what else you may want me to talk about when it comes to Love is Blind or when it comes to dating in general. Put your comments below. Share this video with someone who you think may benefit from it or enjoy it. Like the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.